business is growing, we've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep, switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
I'm Ken Coleman. Join me here on News Radio WGNS, weekdays live at noon, as we answer your questions about your calling, passion, and talent to maximize your potential.
The Good Neighbor Network. Have you been getting most of your money advice from your brother-in-law? Maybe you need Dave Ramsey.
The Dave Ramsey Show, 1 to 4 on WGNS, Rutherford County's Place to Talk.
The Good Neighbor Network. FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro. FM 100.5 Smyrna. And online at WGNSradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday morning edition of the Roundtable with your hosts, Wayne Blair and Rick Hall. Come to you every Tuesday morning here from the WGNS studios in Murfreesboro, and we kind of focus on North Rutherford County and issues related to that. And but good morning, Wayne. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Brother Rick. Where'd the warm weather go?
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's March the 14th, and it's 36 degrees, feels like 28.
Oh, goodness.
I was in Florida this weekend, and it was 82 in Tampa.
Bless your heart. Yeah.
I want to go back. I see why they go down there as you get older and you have a secondary location in Florida.
Yeah, snowbirds.
Snowbirds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, Tennessee weather. Just wait a week and it'll be different.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Side note: congratulations to the MTSU Lady Raiders in the dance, and gosh, we're excited to watch them progress and hope that they'll do very well. So, thank you.
They got a great team. That's for
they
sure.
do. They won the conference and got the automatic bid. I'd like to think they would have got an invitation even without winning the tournament. But hey, better to have the guarantee.
Exactly.
So, Brother Rick, this morning it's my honor to introduce three of our local commissioners. Mr. Anthony Johnson, representing District 11. Commissioner Carl Boyd, District 12, and Commissioner Phil Wilson, representing District 10. And, of course, we've had Commissioner Wilson and Commissioner Boyd on before, and glad to have them back, especially now that you've been sworn in and you have your committee assignments, and you've been completely immersed into county government. So, but we'll start out with Commissioner Johnson. Of course, you're a veteran, and you took a short hiatus from the commission, and you came back. And thank you for serving. And why don't you remind our audience who you are and where you've been and what you look forward to.
Thank you, Wayne. I'm Anthony Johnson. Represent the 11th District of Rutherford County. That's in Smyrna, the best part of Smyrna.
Oh, wow. Okay. Here we go. Now it starts.
I've been married 46 years. My lovely wife, Debbie. Have 3 children, 2 grands, and 4 greats. I was on the county commission for 17 years, was gone not by choice, but I was gone for a little while, 12 years, and I'm back now and serving on the steering committee, property management committee, and a public works committee.
Wow, okay. Long-time Smyrna guy.
Yes, all my life, 72 years.
Yeah. Commissioner Boyd, of course you've done this before, so we're just it's gonna be a do-over.
Oh, yeah. My name's Carl Boyd. I represent the 12th District, Rutherford County. I won't say it is the best part of Smyrna. I'm married to the former Karen O'Neill. We've been married for 40 years. Got three wonderful children. Brittany Boyd Oliver. She's a first grade teacher at Eagleville. Adam, my middle son, he is in supply chain with Nissan, and my youngest son is his first year teaching at Smyrna High School. He's also the pitching coach, and they opened their season last night. Not a successful one, but and I was talking to an old friend of mine, Kerry Todd, last night, and it always seems like the opening day of baseball season is one of the coldest days of the year.
Surprised it wasn't snowing.
That's true. But I've been living in Smyrna since 1969. We moved here from Ripley, Mississippi, when I was 10 years old, and great place to live. Wonderful place to live. Wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I'm on the property management with Anthony and Phil. I'm on the purchasing committee, and I'm on the health and education committee.
Okay, Commissioner Wilson.
Thank you, Commissioner Blair. There's a few comments. First of all, Carl did not tell you what a raging Ole Miss fan he is. So a text is going to come from my wife here in a matter of moments to say, Carl should have mentioned moving from Mississippi. He's still a huge Ole Miss fan.
And we just hired a new basketball coach yesterday.
Yeah,
too,
I saw
so
that.
Look out.
Kirby,
So-
that's a little MTSU background there, yeah.
So the other thing I want to say, I'm not going to get into an argument with these guys because they're much smarter than me, than to say I have the actual best part of Smyrna. So I'm going to say this. I represent the 10th district, which is the better part of Rutherford County. That is the west side of 24 in Laverne, and that is the west side of Smyrna and includes the Sam Ridley area down to Old Nashville Highway. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I actually moved here to attend MTSU in 1992, so I've been here a little over 30 years. I was a recording industry management major. That's the reason I came here. There was only a couple of schools even offering that, and MTSU still has that program going to this day. And there is no music industry anymore, so here I am now serving in local government. I am on the property management committee, actually with both of these guys, which is a lot of fun because, I get to learn a lot. Anthony Johnson knows a little bit about anything in this county. You can find a sinkhole where it empties. You can find a building and what was there 30 years ago before that. This guy knows everything. So it's a privilege for me to ask either one of them. Now, what happened about 40 years ago? And they know. Now, Anthony Johnson, be careful in your conversations because he will recall your conversation word for word. Going back 40 or 50 years. So I'm always very cognizant when we speak. I'm like, he's going to bring this back up if I'm wrong. So
I agree 100%.
and I'm also in
scary.
Commissioner Blair, and thank you for the help on this even before I was elected. I'm the vice chairman of health and education.
I'm pleased.
That is certainly probably the challenge we have as a funding body, that a majority of our money, around 75%, is going towards education and or debt services in order to pay for those capital projects. And we're, that's something we can talk about if there's time, or it can be an episode another day because it is a big problem. But it is, it's the funding challenge as a county of our time.
I would hope that we could spend quite a bit of time on health ed, but also on public works, dealing with solid waste. That's equally an issue, and maybe each one of you could take a committee that the other two do not serve on, possibly, and talk about those committees. And of course, public safety is out there. Since you're on steering, maybe.
No, I'm not on steering.
Who? I thought you said you were on steering. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay. Well, you can talk about steering and public safety too. Rick, certainly with his background, can discuss with his time on the commission with public safety. So
Well, I'd I know because we're driving by it daily now. It seems like on Weekly Lane. What's the update as far as the convenience center over on G Street, and how's that going? Because it's really coming on pretty quick.
I was with Bishop yesterday on a tour of a facility, and I'm pretty sure he said within 2 to 3 weeks we should have the paving done at Weekly. So that's a big step on finishing up. Of course, you've got a lot more, putting up fence and all that, but it's well on its way, and we're excited to finally get that done and to move in. Weekly Lane is the largest convenience center as far as volume that we take in the whole state, not just Rutherford County. It's the largest one in the state as far as volume. That's saying a lot. We've been in a real small place out there for years, and wasn't that convenient. It was as convenient as we could make it, but
Right.
not that convenient. This should really help, and I think it will really explode out there when we actually get moved in. People will realize that, hey, this is the way to go, and this is where we want to go. And
So
also,
those that might be listening, explain that, because a lot of people might not know that we're replacing the convenience center. It's on Weekly Lane now, where we had the traffic headaches on Saturday and Sundays like we're having to deal with, and we're moving that over behind where basically the clerk's office where you get your tags now. We're having a new facility built off of Weekly Lane, so it'll help with traffic and everything else, correct?
right, we're actually building it on G Street.
Yep.
Right.
And we'll have the ramps where you can drive up between the boxes. And for the open tops, you'll drive up, and actually there's about a 2-foot wall that you'll be putting your trash over into the open tops. Now that's the open tops. We'll still have the recycling like we do now, and that's in the super compactors. I can't remember what the savings is as far as the number of trucks, but it's cutting our trips just about in half because the super compactors have a tremendous pressure and just do a great job.
Now, is that just for solid waste, or is that for some of the super compactors? Will they have that for metal or some of the other waste rather than your household stream, if you will?
That's only for household stream.
Okay.
Your open tops are for your couches, and just like we have the open tops now, anything other than recyclable or basically your household trash.
I know before I left the commission, I was on solid waste as well, that I saw a demonstration of super compactors doing couches and mattresses and tables and chairs. So that has not come about?
No, sir.
Okay.
Are we going to get one of those things that I watch YouTubes and I can't turn it off once I see it? But you've seen those things that eat metal, so you throw like motorcycles and motors in and
Yeah.
it eats it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
awesome.
it turns it
when are we
into
going to get one of those?
Yeah.
I can see a field trip coming. If we get one of those.
charge admission to get to throw it in.
Right.
Yeah. So with that said, where are we at as far as the dump goes? Is there been any updates on that, or I know it's kind of in limbo litigation wise now, but is there anything new coming out of that?
It is in limbo. You get various stories, but what we're banking on is the landfill closing in 2 years. So that's why we're going with the transfer station now. And I didn't mention that, but we are in the process. We approved $200,000. That's for the design of the transfer station. That will be out on Landfill Road, where our old dump is. That's adjacent to Middle Point.
Explain how the transfer station operates, because most people, they think, well, you're just dumping it and moving it someplace else, but it's a little more complicated than that.
Right. We'll take the trash in to the transfer station. They'll back in, dump, and we'll have a front end loader actually moving the trash around, but it will be separated and baled and then shipped out to, right now we're not sure where, but that'll be decided in the near future. So that's where we stand on that. But it's like a $20 million building, and the $200,000 is for the design and architect.
And where is that going to be at, the transfer station?
Landfill Road.
So it's basically behind where Middle Point is now, where we got some county property or something?
Yes, it's behind our old dump that's closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is Murfreesboro building their own separate transfer station, or is this a partnership?
There's been talk of a partnership, but there's been talk.
It has not come to fruition, is
No.
what you're saying. Okay.
But the city is looking at Butler Drive, I believe, with a waste-away facility also with their transfer station. I believe
Yes.
that's what they're discussing right now.
So is Waste Away now concentrating on, since we're still talking about public works, are they concentrating on a liquid fuel now rather than the clean briquette that we looked at several years ago? Do you know?
Sounds like they're looking at both, but the real key to Murfreesboro's part, and I don't want to speak for them, but just what we're hearing is that they're looking at the gasification.
Okay.
And that's the renewable natural gas.
Sure.
So, yeah, I've learned a lot of those
A couple of us
RNGs
went down and actually talked with Waste Away. I remember.
Yes.
We do so many things between the three of us. I never know who I'm going to see. But we actually went to the Waste Away facility and saw that. And that is what the focus is this is a renewable natural gas. Now, this is something that's in theory and has not actually been done. So that's one of the controversial things about discussing it. However, they believe the technology that they have, that it will work. If it does, to be able to take trash and create at least 40% or so of a renewable natural gas, that's a real game changer for the environment, for what we're doing with trash. So we all want this to be successful. I think the county's position is we'd like to see some examples of that working before we put all of our eggs in that basket, is kind of the general consensus of discussion.
Well, I was hopeful that the byproduct would turn out, it was going to be clean fuel anyway, but was hopeful that it could supplant some of the coal burning plants with TVA, but I presume that never came to
You know, the
fruition.
discussion we heard was building a facility to put this gas directly into pipelines.
Yes.
And what they were trying to design was basically a nationwide pipeline system in which this fuel would be put into that. And where that would go originally, of course, could be discussed. But that's the way we understood what the plan was on that. So.
It'd actually go right into your existing line, because I asked that, would it have to be a trunk line to come through, or how would you get it there? And they said you tie right in out at the street in the existing line. So
Wow.
That's pretty amazing. You're listening to County Commissioners with us this morning, all three from the Smyrna area, Phil Wilson, Carl Boyd, and Anthony Johnson. It's now time. It's 9:24. We're going to go to our first break, and we'll be right back with you in just a minute.
Tire World's annual at-cost tire sale is back. Now through Saturday, we will be selling all tire brands with no markup. In addition, there will also be manufacturer rebates on brands such as Michelin, Cooper, and General as well. With these rebates, you're now getting tires less than cost. This is the biggest sale we have, so if you know you need tires, this is the time to do it. Call Tire World today. You will not want to miss this one-week-only tire sale.
At Tire World, we keep your family rolling.
Main Street Murfreesboro kicks off the first Sip Shop and Stroll Downtown, a ladies' night out event in the historic downtown. Thursday, March 16th, kick off St. Patrick's Day early while you visit the downtown boutiques and restaurants with your friends for a night out on the town. A little bit of sipping and a lot of shopping. Sip, shop, and stroll downtown Thursday, March 16th for a ladies' night out of shopping and fun. Special thanks to event sponsors Compass Insurance Group and the Preserve Murfreesboro.
Guys, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low T. Schedule your complete health assessment at Low T Center. They now offer the convenience of monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatments for only $155 a month cash pay, or covered by most health insurance. If you don't live near Low T Center, or you just need the convenience of at-home treatment, Low T Center makes it easy to get started on treatment. Only your first 2 visits are in person. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by AmeriCare Pest Control and the law offices of John Day.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the law offices of John Day. I've lived and worked as a lawyer in Middle Tennessee for over 30 years, and to me, every single day has been an honor. That's why our firm is so involved with community programs like bicycle helmet giveaways and our Safe Ride Home program. At the law offices of John Day, we're not just looking to make donations. We want to make a difference in the community we hold so dear. And if you're ever injured, know that we are here for you too.
Lots happening here in the heart of Tennessee, and WGNS welcomes you to the TSSAA Blue Cross State Basketball Championships. This Saturday morning from 8 until 3 in the afternoon, the Covenant Church is having a big yard sale over at the church on Brinkley Avenue. All sorts of treasures, including some delicious food. That's the big yard sale this Saturday from 8 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon over at Covenant Church, 1124 Brinkley Avenue. And remember, Blues in the Borough is this Saturday night at 7 o'clock over at the Patterson Community Center. 7 o'clock this Saturday night. And there's a vendor meeting for those who want to be in the farmers market. That's going to be 9 o'clock Tuesday morning, March 21st, over at the Lane Agri-Park Auditorium. And the day after that, same location, that's where they'll be giving away bare root tree seedlings to Rutherford County landowners. And that starts at 9 o'clock Wednesday morning, March 22nd. Need to be there early because when they're gone, it's over. And those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Good Neighbor weather. We'll see a blend of clouds and sunshine developing for this afternoon with highs into the upper 40s, dropping well below that freezing mark for tonight, clear low of 20. I'm meteorologist Michael Carra, News Radio WGNS. Right now, 34 degrees.
Broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios, MTE has provided light, comfort, and connection to our community since 1936. As your trusted energy advisor, MTE is always here to help. Connect online or download the My MTE app.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
And good morning and welcome to the second segment of the WGNS Roundtable with your host Rick Hall and Wayne Blair. It's our privilege this morning to have 3 of our distinguished commissioners, Phil Wilson representing District 10, Carl Boyd representing District 12, and Anthony Johnson, District 11. The neat thing is that Rick and I have known you guys for a long time, and having you today share what what's going on with the county commission, which affects not only the town of Smyrna but the entire county. Maybe on this segment, Commissioner Wilson, we and both you and Commissioner Boyd are on Health Ed.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct.
Maybe y'all chime in and we talk about what takes the largest percentage of our tax dollar with the county commission.
Well, and that's the thing to consider by percentage. It's about 75%. And the the pieces of that are not just the budget of actually operating the school, salaries, benefits, and things as this. You've also got capital projects, which is, we'll talk about in a second. That's our biggest issue coming up, is how to fund that. But you also have debt services, where, that is our payments on previous bonds. So at this current time, Commissioner Boyd and I can share everything we know, is our county debt is somewhere just under $400 million, somewhere around where it is. So looking at the school board ask, so let's talk about this. I know a lot has been made of it. A lot of it has been in the DNJ, so most people know, but just for those that don't, they have reviewed their 5-year plan, which is a living, breathing, changing document. So that is something that based on need or just timing can change. But the ask for this first year, it came in when it began at $193 million. So let me just kind of back up real quick. We're talking about a county debt total of a little bit less than $400 million. The ask on just capital projects for this year is $193. So you can do the math and realize we're talking about more than 50% in 1 year. The ask would be increasing our county debt. That's a real big, heavy load to listen to. And let me give a couple of other updates since that was done. That was based on Smyrna, Riverdale, and Oakland, the 3 additions coming in at the estimated prices that we thought they would be at. So Smyrna actually came in $3 million under. Yep. So it was right now at about $38 million for that addition. Smyrna needs that desperately. Almost 40 languages at that school. Just the space that they need, and the fact that they are at least 200 plus students over capacity at this time with 20 portables. And I mean, we all know how we feel about portables. I think the community, as well as those serving, no one wants a child in a portable for a variety of reasons.
I would ask you to change that to trailer, Commissioner, because they're not really a portable, they're a trailer classroom, if you will.
It is, and Smyrna, I believe, at this point is still the highest total number in that community. We all live there. We see it growing constantly. So Dr. Sutherland's problem is not changing anytime soon, which is how to serve these students. But let me talk about the cost on the additions at Riverdale and Oakland. The projection was $47 million. They're very similar in build and what's going to be done, so they're both around the same. We got the Riverdale bid back last week. It is at $56 million for that addition. So we were at $193. That included the 3 additions, and they were also asking for a new elementary school on the west side, which was somewhere around the vicinity of estimated about $57 million. Now that is something that they were talking about. You've heard the conversations about the Beatty property and the school board purchasing that. I believe this elementary school, that was one of the things they were talking about doing, is putting this there. Is there a need? Absolutely. We have capacity issues in crisis mode. Stewart's Creek Elementary is over 300 students already. Blackman Elementary, we have all been to. They're just completely out of seats. So we have a real issue, and we know that. But 193, if you add the Smyrna being $3 million less, but take Riverdale and Oakland as being $9 million more, we're at $15 million now more than what that 193 was. And let me say one more thing to the public, things that we learned. When we borrow funds in a bond for an elementary school, there's a shared portion that we have to get and give to the city of Murfreesboro, since they also educate elementary kids. That ratio was a 14.75% of borrowed funds. So if we take the $57 million, you've got to tack on 15% of that to this bond for us to give to the city of Murfreesboro. Guys, we're well over $220 million. We haven't talked about what you brought up, Commissioner Johnson. I'm glad you did, the transfer station, and the fact that we need to get that going because we don't know truly when that landfill is going to close. Commissioner Blair, you guys put $5 million back during your term, I believe last year, to deal with a possible emergency situation. So we have some money put back, but we would still need to fund $15 million. Right. So if you add education at what they asked was $15 million for the transfer station, there's so many other places to go on things we need to build, and we haven't even seen budgets. You understand we're at numbers that this county's never seen before. So this is where your commissioners are in the information they're giving, and we're having to start filtering through what we have got to have, what the immediate needs are, and how to best get there. And you may have also heard that the big debate and the big concern is County Commission has one way to increase revenue. Only one. And that is a property tax levy. And that's something we have to live with. We have no other way to increase revenue as a county local body. Everything else is mandated by the state. So we're having to look at this and really have those hard conversations of what we have to have. So that's where we stand as of literally this morning.
Tell us how much fun it is to be the messenger.
I would rather be shot straight and hit the problem straight on and figure out as a community, we're all in this together. There has to be some investment made. If we don't do that with our young people, what is the solution? We're trailers. I'm going to call them trailers. Are we going to continue to add trailers because there's nowhere else for a child to go? There's a lot of concerns doing that we won't even talk about today. Sure. Yeah. We've got to get children inside. We have to be able to attend to the diverse needs of what we are. Rutherford County is a very large melting pot. We have a lot of children that are coming in from other countries. Our teachers have to be able to communicate with them. So we have challenges as we grow that the individual needs of the student body is changing from what it was in Rutherford County even a generation ago. So while we have a space and a capacity issue, we would have that if there were just simply children that all spoke the same and thought the same. But we have to deal with the diversity and the individual needs that they have and how to provide them the right space to do that. And the teachers need the resources to be able to teach them. So we're kind of messing with a conundrum at the same time of capital projects. We need a building. We need teachers. We need more specialized teachers to come on board to help us deal with the individual needs. And we haven't even gotten to the public safety aspect, because as we build schools, we obviously need more SRO coverage. We have to look at all the other things that brings, the ancillary costs.
Rick and I hope to have Dr. Sullivan, the director of schools, in the near future, explain the new funding program by the state. It used to be called BEP, but it's a different program now.
The TISA funds, as we have been presented, not just in Health and Ed, but also the joint meeting with steering that we had with our state delegation, is for at least a brief period of 4 or 5 years, a little bit undefined, there's going to be a 70-30 split. 70% of the funding from the state, local portion is 30%. The funds will be following the student. So if the student were to change schools, for instance, as an example, the funding will change and go with the student to make sure that particular school is getting the funding to take on that child. A couple differences that we even discussed before. The BEP was a paid in arrears funding mechanism. TISA, as we understand it, will actually be paying as we go. So that's a little bit of a change as far as when the funds will be received on what we have to actually front load on that. What we have to look at, though, with TISA is in 4 or 5 years, the current BEP, I believe, is a 65-35 split. So we have to see if that additional help we're getting, the state is allowing us to have extra funds, doing the best they can to provide that to help us with growth, capital projects, and whatever the needs may be. That's at our discretion of the funds. If that does change, though, in 4 or 5 years, then at that point, wherever we are, we're taking on an additional amount of money. If that were to be a 65-35 split, immediately we have a 5% increase in our local portions of what's going towards that. So we have to be mindful on a 5-year proposal, and I didn't say this about the building plan from the school board, the total was $744 million over 5 years for capital projects. And I've already told you about 2 increases that we know are coming right now of $9 million each. So you can imagine by the time we get there, are we looking at close to $1 billion in just capital projects? the way we've had increases in building costs and labor on building schools, I believe Stewart's Creek and Rockvale were under $70 million. I think one was even less than 60. We're looking at a cost of $137 plus million for one of those schools now. So the cost has not just doubled; it's more than doubled.
Sure.
What's that going to look like in 4 or 5 years? I can't tell y'all, but when you're talking about Rutherford County taking on $1 billion in bond debt in 5 years, a county that owes less than $400 million today, that's the conversations we're having.
And the funding, we talked about the property tax being the only way that we can raise money, but right now in our state legislature, as we speak, there's a bill to change where we can raise the impact fee. I was explaining to my wife one day about it. It'll do one of two things. If you can raise the impact fee on a new construction, I say new construction. I'm not talking about when you sell a house, any kind of impact fee there, but just a new construction. And versus the property tax, if somebody's building 500 homes and you've got a $10,000, just say for $10,000 impact fee on each one of those homes, they're either going to not build the homes because it's too expensive, which would stop the growth, or it's going to fund our growth. And that's all we're asking for is to be able to. Right now, as a county, we can't raise an impact fee.
Sure.
That's a touchy subject. I know, but anytime you're dealing with taxes, it's going to be a touchy subject.
And I know with impact fees, there's strings attached to that to which you're able to put it towards, so like fire service and roads and things like that. They kind of allegate through the state law of how you're able to fund that. But that would help with the budgetary. With education being 75%, you're still trying to find ways to pay the other 35%. So I think that's a good start there. But I just wondered, how do we? I feel like we're almost going to have to look at how we're building these schools, because it's becoming unaffordable, and I don't know. I know the old schools that we all grew up in are not nowhere near as fortified as what the ones they're building today. But I don't know if we not have to go back to that other model and use more updated products as far as building that. I know they do it a lot of times now because they say, well, because of storms and things like that, they want to have safe places for all the kids. Well, I can remember when I was a kid, we all had to go in the hallway and get on our hands and knees, because they made the hallways the fortified thing, and then you had classrooms. But we're making the whole thing that way now. So I don't know if we have to go back to the drawing board and set up an own committee to say, all right, we got to find some way to cut our costs and get them back within and going up, because going up's cheaper than going out.
And we're living in a different time now too. When we were kids, we didn't have to worry about mass shootings, or if there were, we didn't know about them. But I mean, I don't think there were. They were there, but it's and that's something you got to look at too when you're building a school, is the security. And I know. I don't know. It's there's a lot of tough questions when it comes to education.
Is the virtual learning, where kids, are at home basically, like during COVID, is that program continuing to grow?
I believe they're graduating their first class, I believe, this year. I know one of the students. It's still a relatively small program, and I think the issues, of course, really need to talk with someone with the school Board of Education to really answer this. But in my conversations with them, the challenge is it still only caters to a particular student that's capable of that learning style working for them.
Sure.
But see, this is part of the solution. We have to think in a different way. Rick, what you said is completely right. The amount of money we've talked about today, we've done nothing but talked about capital projects for schools alone, tripling county debt. So that's unsustainable to me based on revenue. You cannot do this. So we have a real issue on this. And one thing I want to commend the government on in Rutherford County, looking back at it, is this county's done a great job, especially the commission funding, of getting as much as they can out of the funding that they've approved. They've done a wonderful job. I don't believe we have a spending problem. We have, in the current day, a revenue problem.
Sure.
We simply, like every family, like every business, we need money. We're looking at all of us at increased costs. Every business has higher labor cost, fuel cost. Just to get an employee and keep them is a huge cost to business. That's affecting families. It's also affecting schools. So, Rick, what you've said is actually the real problem, and that is we have an unsustainable model. So we cannot continue to do the same things we've always done and expect to address this new problem. It's going to require new thinking.
Great conversation. Hey, we're coming up against our next break. It's 9:45. You're listening to WGNS, the Tuesday morning roundtable. You listen to the county commissioners here with us, Phil Wilson, Carl Boyd, and Anthony Johnson. We'll be right back with you in just a minute.
This is Kim Dunaway from Sunshine Nutrition Center. You hear me on Monday mornings at 7:20 talking about how to lead a healthier lifestyle. We carry supplements, personal care, and grocery items at both our Murfreesboro and Smyrna locations, family owned and operated since 1989.
Do you suffer from peripheral neuropathy in your hands or feet, burning pain, balance problems, and decreased quality of life? Magnolia Medical Center can help.
This is Dr. David Morris with Magnolia Medical Center. We're in the Ascend building near the fountains in Murfreesboro.
Online at magnoliamedicalcenters.com.
Here at Bud's Tire, we make buying Michelin tires simpler. I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We offer a straightforward approach to service, including nationwide warranties with every purchase. Stop in today to see our full lineup of Michelin and BF Goodrich tires. For whatever you drive, Michelin and BF Goodrich have a tire to fit any need. Bud's Tire Pros, hassle-free, guaranteed. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstirepros.tn.com.
Hi, this is Lisa Halliburton with Bell Jewelers. Bell Jewelers has a wide selection of gifts for you in all different price ranges, anything from Pandora to pre-owned Rolex watches, Longines watches, clocks, and Waterford crystal, all price points to meet your budget. Bell Jewelers is celebrating 143 years in business, and we're located at 821 Northwest Broad Street, across from Toots.
David Jacobs with the Happy Book Stack.
We have a revolving inventory of about 20 to 21,000 books, including 1,000 to 1,500 new books every week.
Find the Happy Book Stack on social media by typing in the Happy Book Stack.
We take in books on trade. We offer credit or cash.
Hey, you know it's a leap year, right?
No, the next leap year isn't until 2024.
Nope, it's this year. I can prove it. Here, play this new instant game from the Tennessee Lottery.
Okay. Woohoo! I won!
See what you did there?
I jumped up and down?
No, that was a leap.
Don't miss your chance to jump for joy this February with our newest instant games. You could win up to $5 million. The Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and worldwide at WGNSradio.com.
And good morning and welcome back to our third and final segment of the WGNS Roundtable with Rick Hall and Wayne Blair. This morning we have local commissioners, District 10 Phil Wilson, District 11 Anthony Johnson, and District 12 Carl Boyd. I did y'all in numerical order on coming back, so pleased to have y'all this morning.
Yeah. So I think we're going to change gears here a little bit, and we're going to go back into there off Weekly and G Street again. We're going to talk about the Forensic Center, and this is near and dear to my heart with law enforcement and my background. I've obviously had to attend several autopsies and things like that, but the number of autopsies we're having to do and what the costs are calling for right now, I think this is an amazing idea and a great idea, especially with the state funding, hopefully to be a part of that. But Commissioner Boyd, could you talk a little bit about that? Because it's coming in on Weekly Lane if it's all approved, but tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's we're hoping that we can do it. I guess one of the most eye-opening things I saw with this was the map when we first learned of this forensic building. Was they had a map of the state of Tennessee, and there's a forensic place in Memphis. There's one in East Tennessee, far like Johnson City, and there's Chattanooga, and the one in Chattanooga only services Hamilton County, I believe, and then Davidson County, and Davidson County takes in a vast majority of the 52 counties, 52 of the 95 counties in the state of Tennessee go to Davidson County. So there is a need for another forensic lab, or I guess that's what you call them. I don't know. And it can be a revenue creation for the county. Of course, we wouldn't be sending bodies out, but there would be other counties coming to us. I think there was 8 counties they had decided that would come to Rutherford County. Is that what?
You know, and I actually believe there was even a few more could. It's all up to what we would be able to process or want to. And Carl's totally right. The way it was presented to us were potential partnerships is actually with the state to actually have state medical examiner have some space there, as well as partnering with MTSU, which is pretty incredible because that would give a way for study to be done at this level with forensics to help the university. So there's a ton of wonderful partnerships just to have the facility. And as presented to us, and we can all three talk about it, this went through public safety, then through health and ed, and it went through budget. It will, I believe it'll be on full commission Thursday. And this is an intention to apply. This is not approving funding. This is a intent to apply. The way it was presented to us was there's a unique opportunity with a fund, which will be closing soon. The fund would be able to give us a substantial grant.
15 million.
Yeah, 15 to 16 million dollars, and our matching portion would be around 5 to 6. Yeah. And they're going to get those final numbers when they actually have the discussion, which would be March 22nd is when the mayor would be going to find out what that would be. So for us to have an opportunity to receive these grant funds, which will go away when that fund which is very close to being emptied, would be done, we'll be able to build this facility with a very low cost towards what the gain was. Rick and I were talking about during the break, $2,300 is what we're paying per autopsy, and because we're trying to do 1 in 1,000, that's about 350 to 360 autopsies a year. When this was added up, just the cost of we're close to $800,000 annually. This is not even a conversation with the employees, the trucks, the fuel to drive. What would it take someone to drive from here to the Davidson County facility, which is servicing 52 other counties? Could they be gone all day? So when you look at a match of a facility like this at $5 or $6 million of local funds, and you're looking at $800,000 plus is the expense we're already paying if we did nothing. This pays for itself quickly, in addition to all the other benefits. So I believe that's why the committees were passing at least the intention to apply, to at least find out what we could do, what the state's willing to do, and what our matching portion would be, which I would like to know myself.
Well, and it doesn't. And another benefit is the time. If a body has to go to another county, that's the transportation. And if you've got it here, you can get an autopsy a lot quicker. Than shipping it off somewhere else.
And I agree. And I mean, like my previous law enforcement thing, they run 3 shifts of autopsies up there. So if you've got someone that you want to actually go to where you're there to watch the autopsy, so if you're an investigator and you kind of try to figure out and you physically want to see the wounds and things like that, because later on you may be asked in court, so you kind of want to be there and see it. You may be going at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to see your autopsy, so that's kind of how it works because the number of bodies. But I was just doing some math sitting here. Phil brought in a cheat sheet for me, so I was looking. So right now we're running 3,300 calls per month with EMS, 170 deaths per month that we're investigating. So if you only took 50% of those, even if we did an autopsy on all 170, that cost us $400,000 a month. Wow. 50% of that's $200,000 a month. So it's again, like we were talking earlier with education, this is an unsustainable number that we're paying out that could be cut in a third quickly just by this one thing. And the state's going to obviously, hopefully, belly up and help us with this program, not to mention what we can recruit from other counties of signing contracts.
That's what I was going to say. The revenue that just from coming from other counties would be.
Well, I think all 51, because Davidson County wouldn't leave Davidson County, but 51 would probably, not counting us, there'd be down to 50 would switch to us if we're doing $200 cheaper per autopsy versus what they're paying now. They're paying the same thing we are in all the rest of these counties.
Yeah. Well, even if it was just to the surrounding counties to make it convenient for them, that's still pretty incredible.
So where are they at? I guess Commissioner Boyd, I don't know if we said that. Where are they at with this process? Where does it go from here? Is this just? I know it's still in concept right now.
Well, we're going. It's going to come to the full commission Thursday night, I guess, for a vote for the mayor to take it to the state to try to get the funding, the $15 million grant, and of course we have to. We're guessing a $6 million match because that's what the other county, like Shelby County, got in all the Shelby County, Davidson County, Hamilton County, and the one in East Tennessee, all got the same grant. They applied for it, and it was the same ratio. And then it goes. I guess we'll find out from there.
We would like to think that the state's offer with us would be better, since we're actually adding something. The other grants awarded, just like Commissioner Boyd were saying, those were actually to do additional facilities at current centers. Right. There's only 5 centers statewide. This would be a 6th center, and with the proximity to Metro Nashville, should there ever be a mass casualty event, should there be, to only have one forensic center located where it is to have to process that would be adding on a completely different nightmare in every fathomable way. By looking at Smyrna and just Rutherford County, but Smyrna specifically came up because, one, we have land over there around G Street to put this. Its proximity to the Smyrna airport. People forget, I know we bring it up on this show a lot, but several times in a year, we are the 3rd busiest airport in the state. We switch off between Knox and us, so pretty soon, the way we're growing, we will be that. Well, that is a huge advantage should we ever need it, to be able to have planes and supplies come in or any type of transport that's needed. So all of those reasons were to make that location, at least to start the discussions, be ideal to put a center.
Since we're closing in on the end of our program, anything just would like to bring up to share?
I would like to say one thing. I got a friend staying with me right now. Him and his wife Kelly, Steve Willie. He's ending his teaching career. He coached at Laverne, coached girls basketball at Laverne, coached girls basketball at Smyrna, and finished up in Rutherford County at Central Magnet. Then he went to Mississippi, believe it or not, went to my hometown in Ripley.
Wow.
Bought the house right next door to where I grew up.
That's crazy.
And I know. And then we were best friends in high school.
That's Twilight Zone stuff right there.
And but he's finishing out his career 664 victories.
Congratulations. I played football in high school with his brother Trey.
Yep.
So good guy.
Congratulate Steve on that.
Yes, congratulations, Coach. Commissioner Johnson?
I'd like to apologize for Wayne for putting you on the spot. I misspoke in the beginning. I did say I was on steering. I meant to say purchasing instead of steering. And also, I know we're short on time, but I wanted to bring up the one-stop building out at Blackman.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually, we've named it Bart Smith One Stop. That's a county court clerk's office. You get everything that you can do at the county court clerk's office that exists now just right off the square and in Smyrna. You can do that here. Plus, there'll be a Tennessee driver's license station there also. but Bart Smith was a tremendous asset to this county.
Amen.
He was I think we call it the wheel tax litter officer, and I'll tell you, he got
among
out
other
and,
names.
Yeah,
He was a hound dog.
Yeah.
But he was worth more than his salary, because he basically cost us nothing, because what he brought back into the county for things he uncovered and brought in revenue, it just paid for his salary. But he was a great guy, and I'm just proud to say that we are naming it Bart Smith.
Yes. Commissioner Wilson, anything?
Yeah, I'll make this real quick, and I hope you've learned from the conversation today that your commissioners and your local government, we're facing unprecedented issues. So I want to make a quick request. As a community, we ask you guys to pray for us and keep us in your prayers to make decisions. We're all in this together. All of the local government officials, your elected officials, are all having discussions to make Rutherford County become the best it can be. Please keep us in your prayers as we make these decisions, that we are able to make the best ones, and please know that we're trying to make sure that everybody is taken care of, and the brightest future in the state of Tennessee is right here in Rutherford County.
Amen, and God bless you three for serving.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Listen to the Tuesday Morning Roundtable with Rick and Wayne. We'll be back with you again next Tuesday, as we always are, from 9 to 10. But everybody have a great day and stay warm out there.
Portions of our programming have been pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, flagship station for MTSU Sports. Courthouse clock time, 10 o'clock.
Premier 6 Theater on Broad in Jackson Heights.
Let's all go to the movies.
Check out what's showing at murfreesboromovies.com. Popcorn popped fresh daily.
Movies at the good old Premier 6.
Premier 6 on Broad in Jackson Heights.
Chip Walters here with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. I was named a top 10 agent in the #1 Exit Realty office in America in 2021. The top question I get around town, how's the market? Good question. And the answer's changed a few times this year alone. I'd like to know what you've heard and share some solid data we have. Give me a call and let's have a cup of coffee and take a look at what's happening in your neighborhood. All my contact info is right on my website, choosechip.net. I'm Chip Walters with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Del's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2023. Save 60%. Code 2023. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
Tire World's annual at-cost tire sale is back. Now through Saturday, we will be selling all tire brands with no markup. In addition, there will also be manufacturer rebates on brands such as Michelin, Cooper, and General as well. With these rebates, you're now getting tires less than cost. This is the biggest sale we have, so if you know you need tires, this is the time to do it. Call Tire World today. You will not want to miss this one-week-only tire sale.
At Tire World, we keep your family rolling.
Now an update from the WGNSradio.com News Center.
I'm Ron Jordan. A nationwide search is underway for a new police chief in Laverne. It comes as the department deals with a sex scandal that saw 5 officers fired and eventually Chief